The podcast you are listening to of Holmberg's Morning Sickness is brought to you by my friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meat, mesquite, repeat. Trust me on this one. You've had barbecue before, but you haven't had it this good. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale, ericsfamilybbq.com.
Eric's Family Barbecue has arrived and is simply the best barbecue in Arizona. Come satisfy your taste buds with meats that are smoked over mesquite wood and sides that are made with fresh ingredients and tons of love. They have the best, juiciest brisket, pulled pork, rib sausage, turkey, or everyone's favorite, the Pitmaster sampler that includes all the meat and 4 sides, mac and cheese, potato salad, coleslaw, corn, or beans, yum. And for dessert, try some creamy banana pudding, amazing. Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meat, mesquite, repeat. Make the trip, you won't be sorry. Dine in or take it to go. Go to ericsfamilybbq.com for more info.
Holmberg's Morning Sickness.
Disgusting. They smell, they're sticky, they say things that are horrible.
98.
I got an email from Jacob, and he says, dude, you suck. You could never take a big black hog like those chicks on the internet. How dare you even have an opinion about sex? It's a good point, if I can't take that kind of thing. Speaking of big hogs, Brady, you're watching a lot of Olympics like me. My friend Mark texted me last night during the male sprinting. He's like, you noticed anything different about this year's Olympics than any other? And I'm like, the dongs? They're everywhere.
The floppage
The
this
flopping
year.
dongs.
Yeah, it's a lot more this year.
I went on the internet and tried to find old races from like 92 and 96, like Atlanta Games, men's 4x100. Carl Lewis's dong flop, but not like that. They're wearing much looser dong flopping material.
Drop the jock straps.
I think they got rid of whatever's going on. I don't know how you can run with your unfurnished basement like that. You gotta get some. You gotta pack that in. How do you? I can't.
Maybe
I don't
that extra G-force propels you forward or something.
So right after my buddy Mark was watching dongs on TV and making a big deal out of it, I flipped over to one of USA Network was showing the decathlon thing, and they were in the middle of they were showing some girls doing high jump, and that's always solid. And by the way, me and my buddy Joe Cubello have dibs on Gabby Thomas and Sydney McLaughlin. So you guys are out. You guys are out. So, and I took Sydney and he took Gabby because it's Gabby's ass. But I think if Gabby's wig came off, because she wears that big wig, I think if that came off, you'd be like, oh, I got to think about Sydney. John's lucky. So I'm taking that. It's the same I have with Winston, my buddy Winston. I've got dibs on Caribe. She's mine.
Does she know that?
Oh, it drove him nuts. I was at that Africa festival with my friend Janie.
You can't go to an Africa festival. You're not Africa.
But I was there, and Caribe Divine was there, and I went over and I took some pictures with her, and only to send back to my friend Winston. And I'm like, I'm one step closer than you. I've made contact, had a chat with her and stuff. But yeah, so I've got that deal now with Cube, so you guys can't get in on that. We've called dibs. But I'm watching this. I'm watching this high jump thing. And the girls' butts are there. And then they're like, let's take a look at the decathlon also going on at the exact same time. The men's 10 events, and they were on the shot put. And this dude from the United States goes and throws a decent one. And then this next guy is this black guy from the United States. And he's in position and stuff. And he's in his little, like, it's almost a wrestling unitard, only it's a little loose in the.
Yeah.
He does, you know how the shot put goes where you do that little hop, throw, spin. So he does the hop, throw. And I'm like, oh, that was all right. It was 14 meters. Like, that wasn't as good as the last guy. And then they showed it in slow motion. I'm not kidding. I wish I was. Wow. No. Wow. I saw each nut move. It was that close to like the thing. In slow motion, his balls did like a circle. His dong did a big double flop like a grandfather clock. And then his balls went woof, woof, and I could make them out. So I'm like, we got to do something about the USA's outfits. These dongs
He needs to time it on the right upstroke. Well, he's right-handed, left-handed.
It killed about 2 meters because I think that thing was banging into. People are going to get black eyes from this thing. It was amazing.
Did you see it on the Finland guy?
I didn't see his dong.
No, that's
dancer. I see. What's your good point. Oh, and the Norwegian racer,
right?
The world champion,
Waldhoff or whatever,
Waldum or whatever. Yeah, he had a dong flopping around in there, but it wasn't like. This thing, I saw nuts moving around. I'm like, all right.
Screw NBC.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, all we get are dongs now. We used to get asses on the high jumps and the long jumps and everything from the women.
Brett, I almost texted you yesterday because Canada was playing in beach volleyball. And let me say this.
There's no pixelating going on.
Oh, Canada. Wow. Our beach volleyball team is gold medalist, whether they're in last or first, because, wow.
I'm looking that up right now.
My friend Scott sent me a photo of that one. And the more they tell us, you can't, for the sport, don't sexualize it, makes me want to sexualize it more. It's like chewing gum in school. It's like, don't tell me that. Yeah, Canada and Latvia, it's...
Warholm.
Where's Brett here? I'm texting Brett the picture.
Not a flop.
There's the Norwegian button.
Yeah, not a little flop in there.
No, he's doing all right for himself.
I didn't look at Ry Benjamin.
I mean, it's nothing. That's a sad.
In action,
that's kind of a sad,
different
pathetic
deal,
PP
right?
on Warholm compared to the dongs that are flipping and flopping around yesterday. It was, and I don't know.
I watched a riveting event yesterday. The women's long distance swimming. Over 2 hours in open water swimming.
I turned on just to see what was going on, and I saw that they were doing a long distance swim, and I'm like, this is worse than those eating shows. Oh, people eating burgers? That's a thing. And so's watching people swim for great distances. You see her?
Yeah, I'm moving to Canada.
Yeah, Canada is.
Oh, man.
Canada's where it's at. Mario Cuomo's not allowed in Canada. Or not Mario. Andrew. Mario's not either, but I love the Andrew Cuomo stories because I love those things when, I feel bad for him because some of it came before it was an inappropriate thing to do.
Yeah.
Which was, how is Europe getting away with the whole on the cheeks thing?
And I think that's been cut down a little bit, obviously. With the pandemic.
Is from L.A. And when he first got here, it didn't mean anything. He wasn't being a pervert or a weirdo, but our boss would give a little smooch sometimes, not to me, but to like your wife or a lady. Oh, it's good to see you on the side of the cheek. It's an endearing thing that a friend would do.
Yeah.
And but he's like, I've stopped all that. I'm like, you have to, because people will read it wrong. And it's actually a fairly common greeting. Italians, I'm sure you guys, guys kiss each other all the Tony.
Digits.
Tony Casanova.
Yeah.
When I saw him for the first time, I think he gave me a kiss on the cheek.
He might have.
It's good to see you. And we got a nice hugging, and I'm pretty sure he went,
God bless.
Yeah, and he gave me a little peck on the cheek. And I was like, what are you doing? What's going on? For sure. You twink? I'm going to say a prayer for you. God bless. Say a prayer that twink off of you. I don't lose my mind. A guy gave me a smooch on the cheek. I'd much rather have a kiss on the cheek.
He didn't give you an orange.
That's different. I'd rather have a kiss on the cheek than feel a man's unshaven stubble up against my face.
The Larry Lankus?
Oh, man. I tried to do that to you that time. I'm like, if we go cheek to cheek, stubble to stubble, you won't be able to hold for 3 seconds. Then he couldn't. Brady was out in like one. It's awful to feel.
Brett, there's a guy at the where I was going to college at the Athens Mental Health Center. I volunteered.
You went to college at the
I went to college at Ohio University.
Clear that up.
I'll clear that up.
Yeah.
And on campus, there's the Athens Mental Health Center. And the director of it was a guy named Larry Lankus, and he was a hugger that would press his 5 o'clock shadow this year every time. How are you?
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'd much rather have than the scrubby sandpaper cheeks.
There's something that's special about it.
Yeah, maybe that's what Cuomo's doing. But the argument of I kiss everybody is not good. Although, if he's consistent with it, where are the guys coming out going, oh, Andrew's a kisser. He gives smooches on cheeks all the time. It's no big deal. It's an Italian thing. I'm positive your family's done it.
Yep.
But you might
most of
even
the time
do
you
it.
double down.
I don't even
right?
know if
So
do you?
Only around
when you meet someone.
Only around family and stuff like
family.
that. Yeah, I don't.
But like you meet like a cousin's new wife, and you get maybe a little.
No, the cousin I would, but even a dude, just like, hey, what are you doing?
Does it take time to get to that point?
Yeah,
like,
a little bit.
Like you got to be in the family for a little while,
and they gotta know how it is too. Otherwise, they're gonna get creeped out. Like, well, what the hell's this guy doing, kissing me and stuff?
How long before an Italian family actually is allowed to penetrate another one?
That was
it's like the second time they're in for dinner.
What do you mean? Whoa.
The fact he had to think about it makes me realize it happens. No, it's funny because, who knows what's going to come out of this.
But like you're saying, if it the whole Cuomo thing, if it turns out he does this all the time, but I mean, what if he has standards like Brady, handshake or the hug? Could. That's death. It's bad because
you can't. You got to one or the other.
Yeah.
And this Lisa says Arabs kiss on both cheeks upon greeting you, no matter what.
Don't the French too?
French are very big kissers. But, I mean, that's got to go away, right? Like, we can't have that. It's just misconstrued immediately.
Well, it does here, for sure.
We can't do that at all, especially at work.
I think at Europe and stuff, I think it's still fine, though.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they're a little cooler about it, but, I mean...
They're not a bunch of woke pussies.
And then I had, and I've said this before, I've always had this weird kind of... I like reading these stories because I like soap operas. No, I think they're fun. I think it's kind of a thing. I feel bad for the people dealing with it and whatever. But I also know that there's an air of entertainment to it when it comes across my TV, that it's being presented to me in a way that's trying to get ratings. So CNN and Fox are both doing angles that are going to get attention that aren't necessarily the story. So I watch for the Bachelor type fireworks with this. But I also used to know a guy who he left and worked in political spin in politics. He would work for candidates as a PR guy. And he and I met one time, and he was getting out of the business because the candidate had an issue with somebody in his office saying he did something wrong. And his job was to go get 3 or 4 former employees to say he did it to them too. And then recant the story. Not dig it up. No, lie.
Fuel the fire
Make
and then
it
step
up.
away.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So you go, and that's why the whole Deshaun Watson thing, because and he said I had to get out of the business. Part of the deal was, and he old timer, he's like, what are we doing here? Because you've got 4 or 5 old employees, they come out and say, oh, he's done that to me too. Whether or not they're accusing him, they just say he's done that, and then say, but it was no big deal, or oh, I misunderstood, or he did it, and now I'm saying it, and then it never happened, and that one's easy to prove. So it just waters down the real story. So the political spin team goes out and finds 4 or 5 people to basically tell the exact same story. So the original person's story or the first few people's story is kind of negated with, well, you just misunderstood it. All these other people say it happened to them, and, well, this one said it, and it's not even true. So, I mean, we can't believe anything. So it
Here's
basically waters it all down.
Here's the other thing, when it gets so stuffy in the system that now, like bigger corporations, especially in the political world or the government offices, once you say something to that person, they have to, even though it's not a big deal,
right.
Well, no, I got to file the complaint.
Right. But that's
and
the whole
you
point.
Go back, and then there's the complaint person that came in. He's like, I was just saying something.
The paperwork is the danger. But that's the point of the PR guy was telling me. He's like, we go out and find people to water down the original accusation. So I always look at these Cuomo things, and I'm like, could be some truth to this, for sure. But I also happen to know a guy who used to work in the political PR spin rooms, and some of those crooked people and the Deshaun Watson thing fell right in line with the MO of what he told me, which was, well, you get accusers, you go out and find 7 or 8 people more who are willing to say it, you give them $5,000 and say, in a non-disclosure, and say, just say that he tried this with you as well, and then we're going to prove you wrong. You'll go away. Like your name, you can even come out as anonymous. You'll go away. Just say it happened. And they'll be like, well, that never happened. You weren't even in town when you say that, or your dates are wrong. And it just starts to make all the accusations seem like a witch hunt. And then you go out and get 20 people that say he didn't. I mean, that's the thing about Deshaun Watson's case in Houston. It got so blown up, I can't help but think that that's what happened. Because we had 40 masseuses at one point saying one thing or another. And I'm like, the guy's only 25 years old. Right. How did he even have time to meet 40 masseuses in his schedule? Yep. And that and his team has guys who do that for a living. So there's more. These are the 40 that spoke out. Let alone how many other? Who has 40 masseuses?
But now it's filed down, right?
Well, and that's the thing. When what he was telling me is like, and then we just make it such a big number, nobody's going to pay attention anymore because it all seems so chaotic. Like most of this is fake. We're not going to. The news doesn't want to sift through to get to facts. They want the salacious story. So at first they're like, Deshaun Watson's been accused by 4 women. This is bad. This is bad. And then 10 more came forward. Oh, he's got 11. Now he's got 20. He's got 24. It's like, something's not working here. All of a sudden, you have a 15 extra that showed up like, and that to me, that goes back to what he told me and why he quit it. He's like, I couldn't be, it's the least scrupulous you can be is to get people to actually tell a story that mimics the accuser to try to negate or minimize the accuser's accusations and say that, he's done it to 40 people, unless it's the Bill Cosby thing, which is the reason Bill's out of jail. Yeah. The other people said the exact same story, and they're like, we weren't going after his character. We were seeing if he actually performed this act on one person. So the more people that talk, the less validation that the original accusation ends up with.
When it comes down to the court side of it.
Yeah, it's crazy. But, I mean, when I sat there, I remember where we were eating. The restaurant's not there anymore. My jaw just dropped, and he goes, I got to get out of this business. He goes, I can't do that. I don't know if the guy I'm working for actually did what he was accused. And it wasn't any big deal. Right. I mean, what was really going on was a sexual harassment thing, if I remember right. I don't remember the details of it, but the person was about to go public, that he'd done something to a coworker, And so they drummed up 4 or 5 other coworkers that say it happens all the time. And then 2 of them were dismissed immediately as like made up, and now the whole thing looks crooked. So nobody's listening to anyone. And the original accuser, which is the danger of it all, and the whole #MeToo movement that came out was essentially we're afraid to speak out because you guys are going to make us look terrible. They know the game.
And so in Andrew Cuomo's deal, if he would say, okay, you know what, I'm stepping down. Is that what they...
Is that the ultimate end?
Yeah.
That's the goal.
And then does it go away?
And then you got...
And it does.
Got
In some cases. But.
The spin on the opposite side where they're like, oh, he's got accusers. Let's get a few more from that end and he'll quit. And then who wins that?
Al Franken.
The other team wins.
Just bombard him.
Al Franken's thing was one lady, and I don't even think anybody thought
Lisa
that was going
Guerrero.
to turn into anything because he didn't actually even touch her. And Al Franken got spun on that. And there weren't like 60 people. There were a couple more that came out.
Right.
But it was like but everybody's told a joke or whatever. It's just it's a weird thing. But the goal for that is to get as many people to start saying, oh, yeah, he does, which is what it looks like with Cuomo. I don't know, after having that conversation with the PR guy, that game isn't being played here.
Right.
But to me, if you're playing that game, there's guilt in there. Mm-hmm. So, but again, singing sexy songs to a girl on a voicemail 7 or 8 years ago, who in this room wouldn't have done that as a joke to like Jill or Lisa downstairs or whatever?
Yeah.
I mean, and then 7 years later, like it really bothered me. And now that I know that this is you, I'm going to tell everybody. And I saved it. Like, oh my God, we were cool.
We should just we've said that for years. Always assume that someone's saving everything you send them. Dick pics, voicemails, everything. They're saving everything.
Saved. And you know what? Even if the person you send it to isn't that giant underground thing in Utah.
Oh, right.
It saves everything.
The
It knows
NFC or whatever.
It knows every keystroke you make and erase.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brett.
Oh, forget it. Look, if they go, we're going to go ahead and publicize everything your phone's ever had on it.
Uh-oh.
Do you think anybody comes out of that with a job?
No one.
Not a soul. Not a soul. The only people that'll survive it are Catholic priests because they can do whatever they want, and somehow or another that's still a thing.
They own the world.
Yeah.
They just pay everybody
Those
off.
guys just sit back and go, yeah, well,
I'll
we're
step
human.
away.
We make mistakes. And I'll just start something new.
Reassigned.
No, I'll move. You guys want me to move? I'll move. It's creepy. But yeah, the Cuomo thing's got some heat. But again, I go back to 1 year ago when he was the sexiest governor in America. And, magazines were talking about his virility. And the one article I read said, and all the other pictures of people in the People magazine sexiest one, he was the only one whose was just a headshot because his pure power and virility were enough to make people swoon. And like, man, how the tables have turned. But they're saying he's got to quit now. And for me, because I don't live in New York, I don't care.
Yeah, sure.
I just like watching his brother try to defend him. I like watching the wheels spin. I like watching that whole thing go like, man, you guys, I don't even know how you dig out of this, but good for you.
Spin is the right word, man.
Speaking of that, do you have the clip from OJ?
I'll get it.
OJ is mad about the vaccine, and he makes a veiled threat to the entire population of the United States.
With a knife in his hand?
Pretty much with a knife on his brain,
Yeah.
because OJ's latest tweet is basically, listen to the last words of the tweet, because I think he says, if you don't do what I tell you, there's going to be hell to pay. OJ's not happy that you guys aren't getting vaccinated. Megan got hers yesterday.
Good.
She got her shot yesterday. She's had
She the one and done, or did she do
2. She didn't do your gravy shot.
Come on.
She did the real one, the Moderna. I think Moderna. She might have got either Pfizer or Moderna. She got the good one, not the one that Toledo, the discount $60, Frontier Airlines of vaccines. But she got the shot, and she's had bad reactions to antibiotics in the past, like real serious ones. So she's nervous. Like, she's been nervous about like taking a shot she doesn't know anything about.
How was she today or this morning?
Fine.
Okay.
Well, like pain in the arm,
Yeah.
nothing major, but as far as I know, she
It was the
good.
second one that nailed me.
First
you got
one,
nailed on the first one.
First one
right?
gave me the vertigo.
Yeah.
Second one just made me super tired. But, as kind of hemming and hawing as I've been about do what you want with that vaccine, we have he's a closer friend to you.
Yeah.
I've known the guy for a while, but we have a friend whose brother is...
If he wasn't on
the
a respirator
ventilator,
right
dead.
now, he'd
Yeah.
be done.
He's on life support.
If he wasn't on a respirator,
He'd be dead.
right now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Just from the Delta.
And the doctor basically says, don't know if it's ever going to come out. I mean, right now,
They're talking wills.
prepare everything.
So he's unconscious, everything? He's out.
Oh, he's done. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's done.
you can't even The respirator or the ventilators keeping him
And
alive.
what the doctor told him, you told me.
Doctor said, he told him, I'll just tell you this. As far as the vaccine goes, he goes, if you aren't vaccinated, you're going to get COVID.
Yeah.
It'll find you.
This new
no
one.
matter what. And he goes, but here's the difference. And then he said, the difference between the Delta variant, it's a lot heavier on the lungs than it was on the original COVID. Right. He goes, and just see the numbers in Maricopa, there's more ventilators being used.
When it gets you,
50% more. It's pretty high that the people are getting, and it's hitting the 20 to 40 a lot heavier this time.
Well, those are the ones that are unvaccinated.
Yeah. Bingo. And he goes, no matter what, he goes, you can avoid all you want. You're going to get COVID. Your choice. You want to get COVID?
Spin the wheel.
Yeah.
So
take your chances.
And you can still get it
like that guy.
Exactly. And that's what that's what he says about his brother, because he was telling his brother, go get it.
His brother wouldn't get vaccinated. And look, again, your choice. You do what it is. I talked to a doctor yesterday for 2 minutes and said pretty much the same thing. It's like this one just grabs you. It's, and it's survivable and all that, but it can get you. And if you're one of the unlucky ones that happens to have something going on, this one gets it. And it comes fast.
It's so wild rolling the dice. I mean, it was tough enough, rolling the dice on the first place when, we didn't even have the vaccination.
Right. That's what I was saying. So would you, if you were unvaccinated now, would you be getting the shot?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you're talking to me who's not against it.
Right. I guess that's
so, it's like I got it already, so of course I'd get the shot. I'm not against it.
I guess I shouldn't say you weren't exactly for it. You
I didn't want to stand in line.
You did the thing for the greater good here, I guess, in the building.
That's both of us, really.
Yeah.
I was kind of taint. I was in the middle. Yeah. I just didn't,
God, that's hot. Yeah, I felt the same way. I was like, I don't want to be in a situation where people here feel like, we've got it floating around or we've got something going on. And also I was thinking about
the variant wasn't even in the equation too much when we were
getting it.
And I had it. Yeah. And there was a part of me that said, well, since I've had it,
just get the shot.
But I wouldn't got it.
But if you don't get it, I understand why.
I still understand it, but it's going to make things last a little bit longer.
Or
it will never go. That's the other thing. It'll never go away.
It's the cold. It's going to hang around us. But so it's when it hits you that quick. And oddly enough, through your friend, Doug Hopkins knows your friend's friend.
Yep.
It's this weird small inner circle. And Doug and I were talking about it the other day. And he said, I know 5 people right now in the hospital. And he goes, the last one I knew, friends of friends. He had it. He's like, I knew friend of a friend. I knew this. And he goes, I know 5 people directly in the hospital. And so he's all worried.
D-Hop had it?
D-Hop had it last year. Oh.
So he had the good
version. He had the clean one, not this new one. But I don't even know.
In the hospital that they're at, the other 2 people that are on the ventilators, 25-year-old and a 30-year-old.
Yeah, same room.
Well, the one thing I saw, and I saw it on multiple different places, is that the original COVID, the OG, you would infect 2.5 to 3 people, one person. Like Brady walking around would infect that. If you have the Delta variant, you're infecting 9 to 10 people.
And I don't want to buy into the whole fear and it's the
I'm not trying
thing in the world.
To stoke fear there.
Everybody's
I'm just saying
nuts and you're going to die.
Like you said, you'll get it. That's why, because it's infecting more people.
But that's my problem. I want the masks to go away. Look,
I do too.
You guys have listened to this show long enough to know I'm for a little population movement here.
You're also for solidarity.
I don't know about that. Well, I like solitude.
Solitude, not solidarity.
I'm for solidarity as well, as long as you leave me alone about it. But I think that the Earth could shake off a couple billion of us, and we'd be in a better place. I'm not saying I like how that would happen or what would happen to make it. I might be one of them, but that's just how nature takes care of itself.
You've advocated for the Thanos snap for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not one of those people that's like, we just have to avert. Look, that's fine. I'm just tired of the masks. I'm tired of being inconvenienced by the entire thing, and that's the biggest pitch I've got to people. I'm like, please get the shot so we can go to restaurants and I don't have to get my temperature taken and sit in a corner with a glass box around me. And I would rather have it just be normal and everything else. And I get it. Everybody's going to email and argue, well, it's because the government's doing this. Oh, okay, fine, but you know what? Stop. And I get that you don't want to put something in your body that's not tested. It makes sense to me. But
they're going to approve it by Labor Day, they said.
Which tells me that...
full approval.
There's a new approved?
Right.
It's got emergency
right,
approval
the
now.
new tide.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing, the worst message people can put out. There's going to be approval in September. Why would you get it now then?
Approval of what, though? What are they trying to...
It's got emergency approval now, but the the USDA or whoever,
the
Food and Drug FDA,
right? Yeah,
the ones that approve it, they give it emergency authorization because of the research that's behind it, but it needs done fully on this shot.
And most medicines take like 8 to 10 years to get approval. Right. So, but it's the dumbest thing you can say. Not you, but generally, and you too. To say it'll be officially approved in 2 months. Then why in the world would anybody do that now?
Yeah.
So it just delays it. It's just a bad message. So, look, I get it. But I just don't want to wear masks anymore. So OJ's right. Play OJ's thing. OJ nails it. OJ's right on it.
Hey, Twitter world, it's me, yours truly. Heard something real interesting today. You know, with 99 or whatever % of people dying are the unvaccinated from the new COVID stuff, and over 90% of hospitalizations, especially in Florida, are among the unvaccinated. A female doctor was on this morning, and she made the best analogy I've heard. She said that being vaccinated is like wearing your seatbelt, that it doesn't guarantee you won't get in an accident, but if you do, you have a much better chance of surviving. Hey, get your shots. I don't like wearing masks, and it's you people who aren't getting the shots that has brought this mask thing back. I'm just saying. Take care.
Yeah, I don't like OJ saying that at all. I don't like OJ.
I'll tell you what.
You don't want to make that list.
You know what? I don't like wearing masks. I'm just saying. So don't. I'm getting pissed. Is what's going on. Damn.
You've just been given a week.
You just got warned by OJ. You people, when he started the you people, and I know black people don't like that phrase, so when they say it, they mean it.
You people not getting that shot. Make me wear a mask. I'm just saying. It's going to be stabby stab. Hell to pay. I'm going to lob some heads off.
I don't want the OJ variant running around.
Well, did you get vaccinated? Because I know about sticking stuff in people. I'll give you that shot. Come on over. Get that shot or else.
Yeah, if 2 weeks from now we hear OJ saying, the juice is going to fix it.
Truth is, Joe Biden, you should call me because ain't nobody going to say no to OJ on their porch. I mean, when I show up on your porch, you know it's business time. If I'm on your porch at all, something's going to happen. Somebody's getting penetrated somehow or no, I'm going in. If it's a needle, if it's a knife, if it's my OJ Schwann, something happening here on this porch.
This guy wrote, murderers don't get to tell me about morality.
I agree with that. But I also, if a murderer is telling me to do something, and then it ends with, I'm just saying. I'm like, I'm probably going to do what he said. Just I don't want any trouble.
I'm just saying, you should probably.
If I was at dinner with OJ and he said,
I mean, you know, people I dine with usually get the chicken parm. And when they don't, I mean, there's usually, I'm just saying.
Get what you want.
I'm getting the chicken parm. Is that what you think I should get, OJ?
I'm just saying, you get whatever you want, but you make me wear a goddamn mask.
Okay, I'll get the chicken parm.
It's like, I invited you to get this chicken parm.
Yeah, I mean,
but you get what you want.
You're a free man. You do whatever you like. But I came here thinking you was getting chicken parm, and it will disappoint me. Brady, I'm just saying I'm a little upset. Okay, that's all. Damn.
3 killed over chicken parm dinner.
Damn. I mean, I took him. I said, look, take my word for it. Take my word for it. It's the best chicken parm in America. And we went out and you ordered Alfredo. I was a little mad. I'm just saying. I'd keep a porch light on as well. Just don't keep your house well lit and some cameras up because I'm on the prowl.
Yeah, I don't like murderers telling me about morality, too. But let's be honest. When a murderer does tell you something and ends it with, I'm just saying, you're going to double think your next move. You don't tell me, murderer. I mean, the guy's name is Murderer. That's the worst thing you can do is kind of combat him. You're known for a thing.
That's
you know?
that girl's argument from earlier this morning. You don't know. You've never murdered.
It's true, but I do know that if he has, and he's giving me a direct order, he has boundaries that are different than mine.
Right.
You've got my attention.
He'll go certain areas you won't.
I mean, you want to contradict the murderer? I mean, that's dumb. I'm the murderer.
Well, I'm not listening to you. You're a murderer.
Damn, that's dumb. What you're doing is dumb right now. You're making me mad.
Yeah. So OJ's morality play on Twitter is always good, especially when he started talking about that stabbing and that cop in wherever that was. He's like,
Ohio?
Amazing. And speaking of the OH!
I-O!
Brady, your friends in Ohio at it again as that 22-year-old boy had to be taped to his chair on, was it Frontier? This is a discount airline. Frontier Airlines, because typical of Ohio, he was because Ohio, what Brady won't admit, is a very class state place. This is the black neighborhood. This is the white neighborhood. And then this is Brady's neighborhood. And never the two shall meet.
That's kind of how it is back in the Midwest.
It's very much back Midwest. But when I was there,
we meet all the time in my neighborhood.
Right. The busboys come and clean up.
Once the job's done,
right.
Get out.
It's time to go back to your neighborhood. It's very bougie in certain spots and very urban in others. And they keep it kind of separate. And then there's High Street. And then they all kind of meet each other in Columbus and Stab. And then everybody goes home. There's gay. There's uncomfortable religion. There's Upper Arlington meets that. They're just not playing along. So this kid stands up. He starts grabbing the stewardess's cans, a couple of them. And then turns and screams, "My parents are worth over $2 million," and then slugs another stewardess in the face. Okay, First off,
I might know this guy.
You cannot stand up on Frontier, on Allegiant,
and Spirit,
and tell everybody how much you're worth. Because if you get $50 in your pocket, you're pretty much high end on that flight.
Spent $2 million on the pants, but that cut down my
I forget who the comedian
cost on airlines.
I forget who the comedian was. He goes, I was flying on Spirit Airlines and somebody started to have a medical emergency and they had the nerve to come over the intercom and say, "Is there a doctor on this flight?" It's Spirit Airlines. No, there's wedding DJs and like unemployed people.
You're lucky there's a first aid kit.
Right. Yeah, right. And if there is a first aid kit, it's got chewing gum and like and somebody's already played with the scissors and dulled them down. But so they grabbed this idiot from Ohio after he slugs a stewardess after saying how much his parents are worth. Now, first off, I'd love to be on this flight if it wasn't for Coach. I wouldn't be. This is something I would have heard. What's going on back there? That's all I would have known. There's something behind the curtain is bad. But he screamed out how much his parents were worth. He grabs cans and he's groping everybody. He's pushing, and then he just takes a swing at one of them. And they just grabbed tape and buckled him down and taped him to his seat. And then they landed and he got arrested.
Is there a picture of it?
Look at this douchebag. 22-year-old frat.
Ohio's
Norwalk.
best.
Maxwell.
Where's Norwalk?
Maxwell Berry. Up near Cleveland.
Maxwell Berry.
Oh, yeah. They're loaded.
Yeah.
And they've cut him off.
Well, he's flying Coach on Frontier from, like, Cleveland to Cincinnati.
He's got a drug problem. Parents are like, that's it.
More than likely, yeah. The rich family didn't do a good job raising
Maxwell,
him.
We can't give him any more money.
That's it, Maxwell. You're not flying first class. You figure out your way to Cincinnati on your own. Here's $100. Good luck to you, Maxwell.
So he spills his $10 drink because they charge you for everything on those. On his shirt, goes to the bathroom, comes back without his shirt on.
What? Nice.
I didn't see that part. What's up, bro? He's classy.
Dude.
OH, Brady. You should be so proud of that dump.
$10 drink. They don't sell many on Frontier Airlines at $10.
Well, that's a good point. Yeah, you're not hitting them too hard. Frontier's not a terrible. Like it's. Okay.
I had my experiences.
No, I know you've had. Everybody's got airline experiences. There's some bad stuff, but that's not the one where they're like it's $9 to fly from here to Joliet, Illinois.
That's Spirit, and then it's,
I know, and then it's like if you want to wear shoes, it's $50. If you want to breathe the air on the plane, it's another $30. If you'd like oxygen, that'll be another $15. Do you like water? I do. You get a glass of water, $33. Next thing you know, you just spent $350 on a flight because you had the nerve to bring bags and yourself onto you want a seat? Like, wait a minute, you said $9. Yeah, it's just for the right to rent the plane for a second.
And at the end of the day, it's not that much. By the time you get through all the add-ons, it's not that much cheaper than going Southwest.
And the worst part is you had to fly from Mesa to Joliet or Rockford or whatever. Where am I? You're in Rockford, Illinois.
He's heading to Miami.
Damn it.
Now they're like, you dummy. Now that you went through this and we released you on bond, you can't bring the cocaine back to Cleveland.
Yeah, he can't get his stash back up. He was going to Miami to get Maxwell. Why do you have business in Miami at age 22? Shut up, Dad. Just give me my early inheritance. I'm out of here. You guys suck. You know how big a deal I am on DraftKings right now? Do you have any idea how much money I'm making on DraftKings? You guys have no idea what you have in your presence.
22, he might be on Twitch.
He could be Twitch. I play video games on Twitch. I'm making a killing, by the way. I'm still on Halo. People still watch me play Halo.
You'll see.
Anyway, Dad, I'm going to Miami this weekend. I just feel I got to get out. I'm having a mental breakdown like Simone Biles. I'm just not mentally in it, man. Just not into it. I've been reading about her. Mental health is very important, you guys. And I'm having a breakdown, okay? So I've got to go to Miami and just chill.
Maybe he's DMing right now. Logan, was that a good enough stunt to get me on?
Yeah, he's on Logan Paul's show. Bro, I totally grounded a plane. And I went top down, too, man. I didn't fool around. I went in the bathroom. I spilled my drink on myself. I came out topless, dude. And you know how many chicks wanted to me on that plane? But they're all hot.
Throwing the punch, another good one for the Paul brothers.
I think it's great when anyone screams out the value of another human being as their value. My parents are worth something. Well, too bad it didn't trickle down. Anytime you scream out that you have a friend worth more, or you've got
get off me, I'll buy this airline.
It's pathetic. No, you'll ask your dad to do it, and you're going to be humbled quickly.
Well, it is Spirit, so
well, you might be able to get a plane or two. If it was Spirit Airline, it would be buy that airline. It's the DMV in the sky, but it serves a great purpose of getting people from Mesa to Rockford.
Just posted dude's picture on our Facebook page.
Oh, he's a classic.
Go have it.
He's a gem. But he screams Ohio rich boy who's never had to deal with, the other across the tracks people. And now that he has, he's just annoyed by it. I shouldn't have to put up with this. My parents are worth $2 million. Which is a safe scream. Like you do that on United, and $2 million is going to get combated. Somebody's coming back for like $2 million. You can't. That's not a brag. It's a brag on a discount airline.
We'd never say that on JetBlue.
No, JetBlue, you probably get
is
a couple.
Is it discount? I thought that was kind of ritzy.
It's middle of the road.
Okay.
It's a nice one.
Okay.
Not crazy great, but they got TVs on everything. But now
they got satellite TV, which is great.
Really nice. That I was on one of the first planes that had that back in 2001. I got on a JetBlue flight from Ontario to New York, and I was mesmerized at the technology that each seat had its own television, and you could change the channel.
Yeah.
For each one. Meanwhile, I can't have a cell phone on during takeoff and landing, but we've got a full satellite running 142 different TVs. Seems to not get in the way at all. But it was pretty great. But anyway, OH, Brady. And I want to,
I'll tell you, $2 million, he would not survive in UA too long.
Of course
Maybe
not.
1 or 2 years.
$2 million. You're not bragging. Yeah. You're going to end up over in Huxley or whatever you call it.
Huxley.
I don't know. One of your he's laughing.
Bexley. Bexley's loaded.
They got money in Bexley? Wherever your hillbillies live. Columbus, the rest of Columbus.
Hilliards.
The Hilliard people. I want to be, someday, I've been at places where weddings have caved in and there's been a fight. I went to a wedding once where there was a fight, but I'd already left. I was at the Botanical Gardens dream wedding, but I didn't go to the wedding. There was a wedding there that turned into a full-out brawl. I got to watch that.
Is that the one you heard from a distance?
That was the greatest thing I've ever been a part of. And then a group gathered listening to the groom screaming, "Here's my special day, too, and you take my keys and treat me like garbage. Everybody's talking about how it's her special day, and I know you're her mother." And I'm like, oh, my God, that's the mother of the bride.
Jesus.
And then somebody takes a swing, keys fly. Oh, my God, he just hit her. And then people are hitting each other and rolling around. And it just so happened that they listened to the show. And I was front and center just eating popcorn while some park ranger comes by and goes, "All right, everybody, nothing to see here. It's you didn't pay to see this." And people are like, "We paid $32 to get in here. We'll take what we can get. It's the Botanical Gardens.
Free show.
It's plants. I mean, this is better than plants." It was great. And then it was at one of Megan's family members got married years ago, and that turned into a brawl. Cousin X showed up and started getting upset, and the bride in her dress was throwing chingazos. But we had left already because we didn't want any of that rubber chicken. The chicken that they serve at weddings. We're like, let's get out here and get a real dinner. The wedding's over. This is enough. And it was way on the west side, so we had to drive back. Found out the next day.
There's the problem there.
The cops showed up. Exactly. The cops showed up. I'm like, man, but someday I want to be on a plane where a dude has to be taped to a chair because he just lost it. I want to be on that.
And you're okay with it landing wherever the nearest area?
Yes. For the story. I'm not going anywhere that important.
Yeah, that's true.
Look, if I'm going somewhere, it's for fun. So if we had to fly...
But you would hate it if you were heading to, a football game.
Well,
now you're going to miss the football game.
Well, if I planned the day so poorly...
Because Maxwell gets a little out of hand.
If you wouldn't be flying Frontier at that point.
First off, I'm not flying same day. I'm smarter than that. So I'm leaving the day before in case there's trouble. Now, I don't anticipate taping a kid to a chair trouble, but maybe weather or a plane delay. I don't fly like, we got to get there by 7 tonight and make it. Because there's too many variables that can screw that up.
I know.
So, if it did screw up the whole weekend, I'd be like, well, at least I got this awesome story. And the reason I didn't make the game was because this kid stood up with his shirt off on a plane, screamed how much his parents have done in their life, basically negating anything he could ever do. And they taped him down. And I would love to be part of the team that taped him. And we've got that airplane they built at Tactical Black up there at React Defense. They built an airplane, a real one, out of old airplane parts.
That's cool.
I sat in the front row.
Yeah, to simulate trouble on a plane. And most of the time, it's like when somebody's trying to take the plane or there's a bad guy on the plane with like a knife or something. Never is it the rambunctious Ohioan whose
guy
parents,
comes out of the bathroom with his shirt off.
Yeah, privileged kid with mayhem tattooed to his shoulder comes out with his top down and starts groping the stewardesses. Now, that's something I want to be part of. I want to tape someone into a chair on a plane someday. That's just
Wonder how Jay and Josh would handle that.
Oh, they just
coach on that.
You just sleep him. I think you end up sleeping him, and then he wakes up taped.
No need for duct tape. We got him.
No, you duct tape him while he's
you
asleep.
duct tape him while he's, okay,
and he wakes up and goes, "This is a bunch of bull. You know, my parents are worth $1.4 million.
Sleep again.
Got to ducktail little Conor McGregor down to his seat, for God's sakes.
Hey, Conor O'Gregor of Erie. Let's calm down a tick. And his apology that his dad lawyer is going to have to write for him is going to be epic. So keep your eyes on this kid. But once again, Brady.
O-H-I-O!
When will you admit that it's nothing more than Indiana longer? My friend Marty just came back from Indiana, and I'm like, how is it? He goes, I got to spend a lot of time with Mom. But, man, is Indiana still a hole? And I'm like, it is one of the biggest dumps on the planet. Top to bottom, east, west, north, and south. You can't find a decent spot in Indiana that you wouldn't go, this place sucks. And you need to start seeing Ohio for that same thing. Because really, other than that river that divides them, it's the same exact landscape.
It's a chunky Indiana?
It's a fat Indiana. Indiana's skinny and long like the meth people that live in it. And Ohio's fat and wide like the, people that live in that. Not saying, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, you'd be hard to open up. It's, you just have to look at it for what it is. Yes, there are nice spots in Indianapolis, surrounded by Indiana, so it immediately makes it worthless. And then I tried to, like, kind of make Marty's comment of, time with Mom was nice, but this place is still a hole. And I said, but, moms always make a hole shine. There has to be a better way to say that.
T-shirt.
Yeah, moms will make a hole shine. It's true. That's why we love moms. You got the big board of musical treats.
I do.
What do you got?
All right. Wake Up Song brought to you guys by our friends over at Action Ride Shop. If you're looking to do any kind of biking, hit the trails, ride the canals, whatever, they got the bike, the accessories, and everything else for your experience or your skill level, as a matter of fact.
And also, the coffee to keep you awake while you're riding.
Damn right.
Stuff's actually really good. I took a sip of it yesterday. And again, I'm not a coffee guy.
Right.
It's the same thing we do with the IPAs. Like, if you're not an IPA guy, people like Holmberg Bound. I'm not a coffee guy. That stuff's pretty good. And I think it's because I've been smelling it for days. It smells so good in my car, and it's just destroying
You're doing
my
a second
workout
roasting
bag.
in your car.
Kind of. Refried beans, I call it. But if you crack it open and put a bag of coffee beans in your car, you can keep your workout bag in there for days. Because so far, I'm not smelling my workout bag like I did. It smells like coffee. It's nice.
So you're going to go be buying more coffee just for air fresheners in the Jeep.
I don't drink coffee that much, and I'm certainly not one that's going to blend it up and make it. But I know I'm in the minority on that. People love coffee. I'm not one of those. But the smell of it can't be beat. My car smells like a Bath and Body Works with maybe a slight hint of smelly vinegar boxing gloves. Anyway, it's good stuff. So thanks to Action Ride Shop for being the place that sells that. And it all goes to the Phoenix Firefighters Charities. Never a bad thing.
No, absolutely not.
So there you go.
All right, a bunch of stuff for Cuomo up there. Anthrax, I'm the Law. The Cult, New York City. Date Rape from Sublime make appearance.
He hasn't gone that far.
I Want to Touch You from Def Leppard. Georgia Satellites, Keep Your Hands to Yourself. It's Max Cavalero's birthday. I Touch Myself for Donna. The emailer from you earlier.
Donna. That's the one. We're going with the Divinals. I Touched Myself this morning for Donna.
Still do a cover of that.
My favorite lyric in that song is I honestly do. There's a part in the song where she's like, I touch myself. And then later she goes, I honestly do. Like we weren't buying it. Like we were just not in on the deal. Really?
No, I'm not kidding.
I don't think. No, I do it. I do it a lot. I'm like, okay. I wasn't questioning it. I struggled with this video as a young teen boy.
She had great cans.
Because she had huge cans, but I wasn't sure if she was hot or not. She's dead.
She is?
Yeah. Maybe we'll include her in the Night of the Singing Dead when the band does our Halloween show again. Do a little divinal. We'll cover it. I touched myself. Might be. I'll tell Katero. We put a list together a little bit today, but
she died in 2013.
Yeah, she died a while ago. I'll put that on the list. But yeah, I touched myself for Donna, the emailer this morning that was mad at me, and then said I was INN appropriate, which is the hotel she wants to meet me at because she wants to me. But since I can't do a tumbling pass, I'm not allowed to talk about gymnastics problems. And I'm like, well,
Did
since
you send a video of her tumbling pass?
No, but I just basically say the argument back. You're not allowed to critique a radio show because you can't do one. So everybody would end up being quiet. Oh,
screaming now.
Oh yeah,
the door's
She's
open.
Screaming at the radio right now.
The door's wide open, Donna.
We'll let you in.
Go wash your
How much time
hands.
do you want? An hour?
Go wash your hands from listening to my dulcet tones all morning, and I know are driving your little bean crazy. And come on in and try it. And then you'll realize that you're doing the exact same thing. You're critiquing something that bothers you, and you can't do it. It's what humans do. It's how we have conversations. It's the worst argument in the world. You can't talk about it because you can't do it. Nope, not true. Because then we'd never talk about football. We'd never talk about any sports. We'd never talk about radio. We'd never talk about cooking. We'd never talk about farming. We'd never talk anything. Anything.
It would be a lot of, call me. Let me know what you're doing in your car right now.
I can't call you. I don't know how phones work. I mean, I don't know the inner workings of a phone. You ever bitch about your cell phone? This stupid thing. I don't even know how it works. It's stupid. It's always cutting out. Oh, well, you're not allowed to complain about it because you can't build one. It's the worst argument in the world. So I know I've already won the argument. And now that we're going to go to the inappropriate.
That's got to happen.
That has to be a real in someday. Her spelling was so bad that I don't even think she should be allowed to work a keyboard. She clearly does not know how one of those works. Your fingers stutter, Donna. You got too many letters in a few words.
My spelling's not that great, but there is that spell check on every phone, laptop, everything.
When you're so busy masturbating to
I
me,
guess,
because that's all she wants is to. That's why I drove
Set
crazy.
voice text.
We're in such a will they, won't they moment with Donna and I. Will they, won't they? The tension mounts. Can't get enough of me. Oh, baby. You like it. I know it. We should probably touch. Go all Callan on her. Yeah, so I touched myself by the divinals. Wait for Donna this morning since she had to reach out to me, you know.
Hey, Holmberg, settle down before you're taped to your chair there, Kimosabi.
Kimosabi. Brady, you have to call the big girl Kimosabi.
Challenge.
Yeah, that's how you know Brady doesn't find you attractive. He calls you Kimo. He gives you an Indian name.
What's up, running bear? Hi, Kimosabi.
It's going to be a struggle for you because now you're in between hugs. And if
it's out.
Look, if Sydney McLaughlin comes to our event tonight at Four Peaks, you can't hug her. Or you got to hug everybody. Well, that's going to be a tough one. I'm hugging her.
Especially if Sydney's the first one in, you're going to be
Brady,
right there.
I'm such a huge fan.
And her arms are wide open.
Could I? Oh,
wow.
Hi, superstar.
And she's going to be like 6 inches taller than you.
This is my friend Moana. What's up, Kimosabi? Fist bump.
While you're getting the hug.
You look like you ate the rock.
What island are you from?
What island are you? What are you? Kauai? You're a big one.
Do you know the Jets?
Yeah. She's one of the Jets. Good one. If you're from the island the Jets were from, you're one of the Jets. Because there's like 30 of them. And the island only had like 38 people.
You're 80s pop.
Remember the Jets? Brady just referenced,
I can't believe that.
Well, Brady loves them.
He loves them.
And if you're a big brown woman, you're automatically a member of the Jets.
You know the Jets.
Yeah, you know the Jets. That's his question for you. That's another thing. I think you're unattractive.
But are you one of the Jets?
What was their song?
Got a crush on you.
Which one? Now?
Brother
and
sister singing to each
hits,
other.
you know.
There's 16 Jets.
Yeah, but they were all like brother and sister.
Yeah,
Right?
cousins.
But they were singing to each other.
Yeah.
I got a crush on
Yeah, their greatest hits album was a single.
Yeah. And it was only listenable through like a minute and a half of that single. Anyway, all right, the divinals are ready to go. For you, Donna, I'll meet you at the inappropriate. Because you spelled it wrong. You made it a hotel, dummy.
Hey, it's not weird. It's pretty cool, actually. No membership fee.
I have heard enough of this.
UPD.
You've been listening to Holmberg's Morning Sickness Podcast, brought to you by our friends at Eric's Family Barbecue in Avondale. Meet, mesquite, repeat. Eric'sFamilyBBQ.com.